This is day 1168 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Like sponsor covering share more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please come me directly. We very greatly appreciate it. Today we're doing Siman Kuf Yordeh, Siman Kuf Tes Vav, Sib Gimel to Ches. Gimel. Kasva Tuva Shalom Sif Aleph. The Tuva Shalom right. It was the non-Jew was milking the cow in his own house. So Hashem B'chutz, and the Jew was sitting outside. If the Jew knows that there's no treif animal in the herd, in the goy's herd, mutar, it's permissible. Even if the Jew can't see him at the time that he's milking. It's something treif in his herd, and the Jew was sitting outside. And he's milking for the purpose of the Jew. Even you can't see him when he can't see the guy when the Jew can't see the guy when the Jew is sitting. If he can see him when he's standing, because the non-Jew is afraid that the Jew will get up and see him. As long as he knows that we're not allowed to drink milk from a treif animal. Because that was not the case. He can't say he's afraid. He doesn't know what to be afraid. As it was specifically when he's milking for the purpose of the Jew. If he's milking for his own purposes, asur. It's forbidden until he sees the milking from beginning to end. Because in this case also, you don't really need to be afraid. Since there's something treif in the herd, you have a concern each and every moment. Maybe he's going to milk a bit from the tamei, the treif animal. You cannot ask. If there's no treif animal in his herd, why does the Jew have to sit outside altogether? There's no concern. No concern. Right? Anytime the Jew did not see the process of milking at all, he didn't even sit outside. Chazal just made a blanket xera. They answered it. Also, that's the language of the xera. That milk which is milked by a non-Jew, and the Jew doesn't see him, it's also. Mordechai the Shaydura says, milk which milked when the Jew was not watching. Even if there is no treif animal in the pen, also it's forbidden. So that some great destruction should not come out from this. In other words, some different time. Somebody who breaches the wall put up by the rabbis will be bitten by a snake. Rashi, and that's how Rashi writes. Is that also writes this? So all of them have the same, take the same approach. They, however, are lenient in the type of safeguarding one needs. It's enough to sit on the outside. As we said, it's good enough also to go out and come back in. And not only if he goes out and comes back into the place where the milking is actually taking place, even if he's just going to come back to his sitting outside, he can go out and come in. Go back to sitting outside. And that suffices. Hey, so regardless, it's now become clear. The feed does go according to the opinion of all the rabbis he brought down. Film comes to shir cloud over tummy, but even in places where it's not prevalent to have something treif animal in the city, so that there's no concern for actually mixing in treif milk. Come us, and unless it's forbidden, so lo amara kapanim b'chutz yishtas chaliva, when the Yisrael, the Jew, did not stand at least outside at the time of the milking. Oh, or he goes out and comes back in. Even a minor, it's okay. Then we will clarify this further. Regardless, the prohibitions regardless. The not like one of the great achronim who elaborates on this. To be lenient to drink their milk. The Malcolm changed to a place where there is no treif animal. Or it's very unlikely that they're going to milk the treif animal. Or that treif milk is very expensive. It brings proof from some Gedolim who are lenient in such circumstances. On this account, there are many people who are not adhering to this prohibition in our generation. As we saw and heard. And they rely on some time. They don't understand and don't know that the Rabbanos are more severe than the Raisas. Talmid Chacham, which was the Cain, and the Talmid Chacham who did this, he bears a sin. And all the great Achronim Paschas way, who cannot be brazen and fulfill the desire of his soul, not here, his eternal soul, but his material soul. Somebody who is concerned with his spiritual soul will distance himself from this. Now, the next sif in the Arukh HaShulchan is very, very famous. It's where he claims that, where he lays a scenario which is not based on Chazal, to claim that Chalav Yisrael is essential. Before we get to that, the Chazon Ish was going to the Chelkas Yaakov was Chelkas Yaakov says he asked Chazon Ish, "Is it true that you're matir Chalav Akum?" And Chazon Ish supposed to have said to him, "Soon they're going to tell me that it was matir Eish Ish." But the truth is, the Chazon Ish seems to be inclined in the Chazon Ish there to this leniency, which is the leniency of the Pri Chodesh, where it's not economically viable for the operation to include milking treif animals, which it usually isn't. So then, in places where that was never the custom, or where people expect to get cow's milk, not get milk from other animals, so then we don't have to be chodesh that there's treif milk there. It's tantamount to misyoret. It's the same type of shmira, virtually as would be with having a physical person coming in and going out. So the Chazon Ish seems to hold that the Pri Chodesh's leniency is legitimate leniency. Moshe does not go to Pri Chodesh's leniency. The famous series of truths of Moshe says that you don't need mirsat, you don't need the people who are involved in milking to be afraid of a Jew. They can also be afraid of the government and being shut down because the government finds out that they've adulterated their milk. Moshe has a whole problem with that, which he deals with about how the farmer's not afraid, only the dairy should be afraid, so maybe the farmers mix it in. Not getting into that today. That is Rebbeinu Hetzer. The Arukh HaShulchan is much closer to Chazim Slefer, who holds it's a blanket gzeira. There are no eterim. Tough. And now he just throws in his coup de grace, so to speak. Vav, yes, it says, and to strengthen this further, I will clarify to you, how all the words of our holy rabbis are like fire coals of fire. That which a person confessed in front of me with a broken heart. When I was Rav in a certain city, not before Nevardak. This person was there's a certain person who was lenient, one of the Chashuv Abatim, and when he was outside of the city to drink milk, which is not done under Ashkocha. Where he went for his business dealings. And they every morning when they used to drink their coffee, they would buy uh, thick milk, cement. Cement, I think it's so called today. It's a money by a storekeeper, any who was not Jewish, who was opposite their hotel. And once they started inquiring amongst themselves, from where is a small shopkeeper, keeper of a small shop, get so much rich milk? He went to the storekeeper and asked him. The storekeeper said, I buy in a butcher store a lot of marrow of the animals, and dissolve them with a lot of milk, and I cook them together. And that's the fattiness, not from the fat of the milk fat, but the fat of the animal fat. So all the Jews found their faces on their great sin. Shaklu trefus to basar chav. They ate trefus and basar chav. Well, it's not necessarily basar chav unless the meat was shechted properly, but you get the point. The Babas to confess in front of the Arukh HaShulchan. He cried out loud, how great are the words of the sages. And this is the Masorah which I have, says Arukh HaShulchan. Any enactment of the Chachamim. Besides the revealed reason, which would be that there's treif milk mixed in, yesh or and many other hidden reasons which they not reveal, such as cooking marrow into the milk. The Quran also is that way, of course, as we know, that Xeris Rabbanan have many reasons, not just the revealed reason. The person hears this should receive a bracha from Hashem if he refrains from the milk of the non-Jew. Should get his reward in this world and in the world to come. And again, this is the brackets here at the end of the Sifra, famous. Especially I heard Shabbat America. Many of the nationalities which drink pig's milk. Because there are lots of pigs there. So therefore, in America, there would be a very big issue of Israel. So years ago, when I was a young lad, I think in 6th grade, I went with my parents for a week's trip to Spain. And this was before I was Makar of Israel, but so we drank the milk there. And only later on did we find that in Spain, you can't drink the milk, at least at that time, because they did have a tendency to mix in other treif animal milk with the cow's milk. So even Ramosha's Heter only applies, obviously, in a country where there are government regulations prohibiting the adulteration of milk, of cow's milk, or where the Pichadish's Heter is available. Zayin Kosar Ben Ramah writes to Zelishonov. It's preferable that the Jew be there at the beginning of the milking. The year Bekalish look into the vessel in which the bucket. Shloya Bekalish Shechovin every time there shouldn't be something tame in strafe inside the bucket. And the custom is to milk in other buckets than the one that the guy uses. Because otherwise there might be left some drops of milk of theirs. But if it's after the fact and you do it, you don't have to be concerned. Period of what the mom means to say is to be ain davar tummy badjo hikilu. If there was nothing, no fried animal in this story, they were lenient. Shemuter, it's in permissible. Shesolio sheim b'chutz when a Jew sits outside. But it's preferable for the Jew to be present at the beginning of the milking. Notice by clean to look at the vessel. Sheim b'chol tummy has no treif milk in it. Came shows him the chashar zekas since the prohibition is on that account. So therefore you have to be concerned with the vessel. Medina, that's going to this would be going to strict level law. But Shafi so lo yachlo b'kliyam yuchal lehem b'chaliva. We don't use. This is what I'm saying. We don't use the kalim which the non-Jews use for milking. Afsharesh ain baklum. You see, there's nothing in it. Because maybe there's still some drops of treif milk. Afsharesh mashu ba'alma. Just macho. And that's also part of the Takon of Chav Yisrael is that your chayshish for minute amounts even less than 1/60th. Because otherwise, any keli which the trade milk would be less than 1/60th, not be a problem to us. That's why you have to wash it very well with water. Nevertheless, there's no concern here. Even the drops of milk is part of the shishim. That be nullified in 60. But the avid ain't lachush l'chozeh. And but the avid, you don't be concerned with all this. Below by mashinagu. It goes to say that's true about any place which has a specific custom. Even the Jew was not at the beginning of the milking. He didn't look in the vessel. He just sat outside. Mutter, that's sufficient. Came much ain't overtime bedroom because there's nothing treif in the herd. Just overtime bedroom, but there's nothing treif in the herd. Ain't no more clue, nothing works. It's only seen from the beginning of the milking until the end. It's a thousand shach. But God met to them, in fact, became achronim. Even this had the achronim are not cast out. It's really after bein no overtime bedroom. They say that even though there's nothing treif in his herd, that's the din. You have to see beginning of the milking regardless. Purely, I feel the Ram. So you're going to their perspective. It's difficult to stand in front of the beginning of the milking. Which is Machpina said, Ayin Hara. Some people will not stand by the milking. He's beginning of the milking because of Ayin Hara. Okay. You call him Gam Chalchilas Bach Shiva Sisa Bachutz. We can rely ab initio on the Chatchila on the Jew sitting outside. Came and changed over time. Bedros is nothing treif in his herd. Is that odd if he doesn't be B'diavad? This is better than B'diavad. Because there's no other way to do it. Because the Arukh HaShulchan said, yeah, on the other end, there's no concern for this. So therefore, that is a notch above B'diavad. It's not a B'diavad, it's a Chatchila, perhaps a low level Chatchila, but to rely on Yisrael Yoshe B'chutz. As long as it doesn't have something treif in his herd. Ches Okosab. He also wrote, I guess, maid servants who milk the animals in the house of a Jew, or B'Yerushalem, or the animal pen. Anyways, there's no non-Jewish house interrupting your line of sight. You're not concerned there being something coming there. Even ab initio, to allow people, the servants to milk. Even though there's no Jew watching them. Since it's in the house of a Jew or in its vicinity, and we're not concerned that something Tommy will show up. I mean, base Kuti Masi, where there's a non-Jew's house in the middle. Base Kuti. A Jew has to be there. I'm not sure what Kale means. And they're milking in the house of the non-Jew. Even the child works. The name the non-Jew is in trepidation on their account. Quote. But it means it says, I forgot she's by the Gambeleka Davatome. But Edro, even though it's been clarified that even when there's nothing treif in the herd, also blurry is he saw also that a Jew seeing. That's milk which is milked from their animals. But milk from our animals. But based on Yisrael in the Jew's house, or in the sty, not the barn, in the dairy, in the Jew's yard. They didn't ask us when there's no issue of potentially having treif milk. Basically, so there's no non-Jewish house in the middle. The early, it seems to be says do I think I feel base kuti mamsi b'neim? Even there is the house of a non-Jew interrupting and between the place where you're milking and the place where you're standing. But the early, it seems to be says the house of a non-Jew interrupting and between the place where you're milking and the place where you're standing. But the early, it seems to be says the house of a non-Jew interrupting and between the place where you're milking and the place where you're standing. If you know there's nothing straight there which is suitable to milk, kankim with is also miscible. The zibasar taima. The whole concern is that that there's going to be a double ulcer. It's not unlikely in this situation. Fundamentally, that's to be that the animal is 100% the Jews. You saw chaliva, even the Jew just rented out to milk it. There's just talking paktin chaliva, like people rent their paktin out for milking. Because you saw it's called a Jew's animal. Okay, which chalivu shalok, because milk is this. Okay, the opposite. Shakuti sachar mi Yisrael, my behem chaliva, when a non-Jew hired out from a Jew an animal to milk. Mikre behema shakuti. It's called a non-Jewish animal. Animal non-Jew. Velkas also writes to be in a shmir in terms of the safekeeping. I feel be behema shlem. Even if the animal belongs to a non-Jew, ain't so if you you don't need an adult Jew. I feel katan or even a minor can be the shomer. They have to be at least 9 years old. The others think that's an das and because then they're a little bit knowledgeable and can identify things. And the guy is afraid to cheat in front of him. But if it's less than 9 years old, ain't no klum, it's not effective. And that's the shach name is Heter and the Taz, and that is all for today.